Alex Eala's arrival in Washington wasn't just another stop on the WTA Tour, it felt like the beginning of a brand new chapter in her career. As she stepped into the U.S. Capitol, cameras followed her every move, Filipino fans welcomed her with excitement, and tennis supporters immediately began talking about what could happen next. There was a different energy surrounding her this time because she wasn't arriving as an unknown young talent. She was arriving as one of the fastest-rising stars in women's tennis. The excitement surrounding Alex Eala didn't begin in Washington. It had been building for weeks after a remarkable run that completely changed the way the tennis world looked at her. Every match she played added another chapter to a season that has already become the most successful of her professional career. Much of that momentum came from Wimbledon, where Alex delivered performances that captured global attention. Facing one of the strongest fields in women's tennis, she showed remarkable composure against experienced opponents and proved that she could compete under the brightest spotlight in the sport. Every victory increased her confidence, and with each passing round, more people began believing that her breakthrough was no longer a possibility, it had already arrived. One unforgettable performance became the moment everyone started talking about. Alex stepped onto center court against one of the tournament favorites with very few people expecting an upset. The pressure was enormous, but she never allowed the occasion to overwhelm her. Instead, she trusted her game, attacked with confidence, and forced one of the world's biggest stars into uncomfortable situations from the very beginning. Throughout the match, Alex demonstrated outstanding movement, intelligent shot selection, and incredible mental strength. She refused to back away from the challenge and continued playing aggressive tennis even during the biggest moments. The crowd quickly realized they were witnessing something special as momentum shifted in favor of the young Filipina. When the final point was won, the reaction spread far beyond Wimbledon. Tennis fans around the world celebrated one of the tournament's biggest surprises, while media outlets immediately recognized the victory as one of the defining moments of the championships. It wasn't simply another upset, it was a statement that Alex Eala had officially arrived among the world's elite players. That victory transformed the way people viewed every tournament she entered afterward. Opponents knew they could no longer underestimate her, while analysts began including her name in conversations about the future of women's tennis. Confidence is one of the most powerful weapons in professional sports, and Alex suddenly had plenty of it. Although her Wimbledon journey eventually came to an end, the tournament represented a huge step forward in her development. Reaching the second week of a Grand Slam showed that she had both the physical endurance and the mental toughness required to compete over multiple high-pressure matches against elite opponents. Perhaps the most impressive part of her run was her attitude after the tournament. Instead of focusing on disappointment, Alex spoke with maturity about continuing to improve and learning from every experience. She understood that every great career includes victories and setbacks, and she remained focused on the bigger picture rather than one single result. That mindset became one of the biggest reasons fans and experts believed her success would continue. Many players enjoy one breakthrough tournament before struggling to maintain consistency. Alex appeared determined to use Wimbledon as a foundation instead of treating it as the peak of her career. Her impressive performances also received recognition from the WTA, where she was acknowledged as one of the standout players during the grass court season. Receiving that kind of recognition from the tour itself reflected how much respect she had earned through her performances on the court. As preparations for the hard court season continued, expectations naturally increased. Washington became the first major opportunity to build on the confidence gained during Wimbledon. Every practice session, every training day, and every adjustment to the new surface carried extra importance because this part of the season would eventually lead toward the U.S. Open. Support for Alex also continued growing away from the tennis courts. Filipino fans followed every update, celebrated every achievement, and proudly supported one of their country's brightest sporting stars. Wherever she traveled, she carried not only her own ambitions but also the hopes of millions of people inspired by her journey. Her story had become about much more than rankings or tournament results. She represented determination, resilience, and the belief that athletes from countries without a long history of tennis success could still compete against the very best in the world. With Washington now on the horizon, anticipation reached another level. The tournament promised difficult opponents, challenging conditions, and enormous opportunities. But if the previous few months had proven anything, it was that Alex Eala had already shown she belonged on the biggest stages in world tennis. Every new event now brings another opportunity to continue building her remarkable career. Every victory strengthens her reputation, every challenge adds valuable experience, and every appearance inspires another generation of young players dreaming of following the same path. The next chapter was about to begin, and tennis fans around the world were ready to see what Alex Eala would accomplish next. Washington, D.C., has always been known as a city where world leaders, diplomats, and international visitors gather. This week, however, another important guest captured plenty of attention. A young tennis player from the Philippines walked into one of the biggest tournaments of the North American hardcourt season carrying not only a racket, but also the hopes of millions of fans watching from around the world. Alex entered the Wimbledon CDDC Open with a career-high world ranking that placed her among the strongest competitors in the tournament. That ranking wasn't the result of one lucky week or one surprising victory. It represented months of consistent performances against some of the best players in the world. Every tournament she played, every difficult match she fought through, and every ranking point she earned brought her to this moment. What made her arrival even more significant was the level of competition waiting for her. The DC Open featured one of the strongest player fields of the season, with Grand Slam champions, top-ranked stars, and former tournament winners all competing for the title. Every match promised to be a challenge. And every round had the potential to produce world-class tennis. Yet Alex wasn't entering this event simply hopping to gain experience. She had already proven that she could compete with elite players on the biggest stages. That confidence changed the entire conversation surrounding her participation. Fans and analysts were no longer asking whether she belonged in tournaments like this. Instead, they were asking just how far she could go. One of the biggest storylines surrounding the tournament was her doubles partnership with tennis legend Venus Williams. The pairing immediately attracted worldwide attention because it brought together two athletes from completely different generations. Venus has inspired tennis fans for decades with her incredible achievements, while Alex represents the future of the sport and the new generation of international stars. Seeing them share the same side of the court created excitement far beyond the doubles draw. Many fans viewed it as a passing of knowledge from one generation to the next. The partnership also reflected the growing respect Alex has earned among some of the biggest names in professional tennis. Looking around, the singles draw made it clear just how competitive this tournament would be. Several top-ranked players, Grand Slam champions, experienced veterans, and dangerous rising stars were all preparing to battle for the trophy. Every section of the draw featured players capable of making a deep run, leaving almost no room for easy matches. Despite the difficult competition, Alex's recent form gave fans plenty of reasons to feel optimistic. Her performances over the past few months had shown remarkable consistency and maturity. She had developed into a player capable of staying calm under pressure while continuing to improve every aspect of her game. Another interesting factor heading into Washington was the transition from grass courts to hard courts. Every surface demands different movement, timing, and strategy. Players often need time to adjust after Wimbledon, and those adjustments can play a major role in determining early tournament results. Alex faced the same challenge, but her team believed she was well prepared for the change. Her ranking also carried extra importance because it reflected something many people had overlooked. Remaining among the world's top players is often much harder than reaching that position for the first time. It requires consistency throughout an entire season, not just one impressive tournament. Alex had shown exactly that consistency, proving her place among the sport's rising elite. Beyond the rankings and statistics, there was another reason her arrival meant so much to Filipino fans. Every appearance on the international stage continues inspiring young athletes back home. Watching one of their own compete against the biggest names in tennis gives thousands of aspiring players confidence that their own dreams are possible with enough dedication and hard work. The excitement surrounding Washington wasn't built only on expectations for one tournament. It reflected the incredible momentum Alex had built throughout the season. Every victory had increased her confidence, every challenge had strengthened her experience, and every tournament had prepared her for moments like this. Now another opportunity stood in front of her. The hardcourt season was beginning, the spotlight was brighter than ever, and the tennis world was watching closely to see whether Alex Eala could continue proving that she belongs among the very best players in women's tennis. For Alex, this wasn't simply another stop on the calendar. It was another chance to write history, represent the Philippines on one of tennis's biggest stages, and continue showing why she has become one of the most exciting young talents in the sport today. Washington is more than just another tournament on the calendar. It marks the beginning of one of the most important stretches of the tennis season. Strong performances here can build confidence, improve rankings, and create momentum heading into the biggest hardcourt events of the year. For Alex Eala, this tournament represents an opportunity to prove that her impressive run on grass was not an isolated success but the start of a new chapter in her career. The road ahead won't be easy. The hardcourt season presents a completely different challenge from Wimbledon. Every surface rewards different movement, different tactics, and different decision-making under pressure. Players who looked unstoppable only weeks earlier must quickly adapt to new conditions, faster rallies, and opponents arriving with their own ambitions. Alex understands that reality better than anyone. Professional tennis is a sport where confidence matters, but preparation matters just as much. Every training session before the tournament has focused on adjusting to the faster courts, sharpening her timing, and making sure she enters the competition physically and mentally prepared for another demanding week. One of the reasons fans continue believing in Alex is her ability to remain composed regardless of the result. After every victory, she celebrates with humility, and after every defeat she responds with maturity. That balanced mindset has become one of the strongest foundations of her rapid rise through the rankings. She understands that success isn't measured by one match but by continuous improvement over an entire season. Her words after Wimbledon reflected exactly that mentality. Instead of dwelling on disappointment, she reminded everyone that no player performs perfect tennis every single day. Every athlete experiences difficult moments, and every champion learns how to move forward. That attitude has earned respect not only from fans, but also from fellow professionals who recognize the mental strength required to compete at the highest level. Another reason Alex's journey continues attracting worldwide attention is the impact she has beyond tennis. Young athletes across the Philippines now have someone they can genuinely look up to. They see a player who came from the same country, faced many of the same challenges, and still found a way to compete against the world's best. Her achievements have become a source of hope for an entire generation dreaming of following a similar path. The Filipino community has embraced that journey with incredible passion. Every tournament feels like a home event because supporters proudly fill the stands with flags, cheers, and endless encouragement. Whether she's playing in Europe, North America, or anywhere else in the world, Alex rarely feels alone. That connection with her fans has become one of the defining features of her career. Washington also carries special meaning because it begins the final build-up toward the U.S. Open. Every point earned, every victory achieved. And every lesson learned during this tournament could influence what happens at the season's final Grand Slam. Momentum in tennis can change quickly, and one outstanding week often creates confidence that lasts for months. The competition waiting for Alex is among the strongest she has faced all year. Grand Slam champions, former tournament winners, top-ranked players, and rising stars are all chasing the same trophy. Every round has the potential to produce unforgettable matches, leaving almost no room for mistakes. But difficult draws have never discouraged Alex. Instead, they have consistently brought out some of the best tennis of her career. Perhaps that's why expectations continue growing. Fans are no longer asking whether she belongs on the biggest stages because she has already answered that question through her performances. The conversation has shifted toward how far she can go and what milestones she might achieve next. Regardless of how this tournament unfolds, one fact cannot be ignored. Alex Eala has already changed the perception of Philippine tennis around the world. She has shown that talent, discipline, and determination can overcome barriers that once seemed impossible. Every tournament she enters opens new opportunities not only for herself, but also for future generations of players who now believe their own dreams are possible. The next few weeks promise exciting challenges, unforgettable matches, and opportunities to create even more history. Washington is only the beginning. Canada, Cincinnati, and eventually the U.S. Open all lie ahead, each presenting another chance for Alex to continue building one of the most inspiring stories in women's tennis today. As the tournament begins and the draw unfolds, millions of fans will once again be watching every serve, every rally, and every point with excitement. They know that every match has the potential to produce another unforgettable moment. Alex Eala has already proven that she belongs among the world's best. Now she has another opportunity to show just how high her ceiling can truly be. If you've enjoyed following Alex Eala's incredible journey, make sure to stay connected for more updates, match analysis, tournament coverage, and the latest news as one of the brightest young stars in world tennis continues chasing history.